everyone, this is Joey from JLD Travels coming back with a new video today, and we finally got to the end of our airline review little mini series. And this one, even though it's only a shortish sort of flight, there's a lot I need to say about a certain little airline, and just wanted to make sure everyone's doing okay. Hopefully this video finds you all doing well and everything's all good with you guys. We're going to quickly start the background video. Yeah, so the little airline we need to talk about is called RyanAir. I had a flight booked with them for the 16th of April initially. Then, as I explained in the prior video, I had a little issue with Scoot on my flight from Singapore to Athens, where they delayed the flight from 6:05 to 8:05. And I tried my best to try and get some help with RyanAir, who were completely unhelpful, unresponsive, did not care at all about the customer, and just out and out refused to help. I spoke to two different people initially through their group chat thing, not group chat thing, but message thing on the app I had on my phone, and neither really cared, and one even just terminated the chat early because he just didn't want help. I eventually spoke to another person, and they were a little bit more responsive and at least hearing what I had to say, but still out and out refused to help. And I had to go to the extreme of going onto their own website, taking a screenshot that stated that in unforeseen circumstances, if it's something not of my own doing, they'll basically waive the €45 fee to have your flight moved. Even when I explained, when I think it was not even a day after, I noticed that when I originally booked the ticket, when it was ridiculously cheap from Athens to London Luton, I actually didn't realise it changed the date back to March for some reason, because I was booking it in March. And I then obviously realised my mistake, had to go and obviously change it, and then it went from it was about 40 something pounds, because obviously I had checked luggage. That went from about £40 all the way to 360, I think it was in the end, from Athens to London Luton, which was ridiculously expensive. And so obviously that had burned a rather large hole that didn't really need to be burned. Anyway, that's besides the point. So then, obviously, I'm at that point where I literally, all I asked was, can you just waive the fee just to change my flight to the next day? Because I'm not going to get there in time, because Scoot won't help me. They won't find me another airline to go on. They won't even put me on their parent airline, which owns them, Singapore Airlines. And they just didn't really care. All they'd cared about is they got the money, and basically I was kind of stuck at this point. As I was priorly saying, that obviously I'd asked them to waive the €45 fee just to move my flight back a day, well, just under a day, and they wouldn't. I took a screenshot, as I said. I put a red circle around it, put a red arrow towards it, and he just completely ignored the photo. And then there was something else that they as part of their supposed refund policy, and I'd taken a screenshot of that, done the same, circled it, red arrow towards it, and it clearly stated that if for some reason you're not going to be able to make your flight, they can refund what you paid for the flight back onto your wallet. They won't put it into your bank, and then you can use that to then book another flight. They refused to do that. And then my personal feeling on that matter was that is done intentionally, because the flight the next day was nearly €100 less than what I'd originally paid. So they were determined to keep every single penny they'd basically conned off me and every other person. So obviously that wasn't great. And so I ended up having to pay the fee anyway. And I tried to explain that you still charged me when I changed it the first time because it reverted back to March and I hadn't noticed. And that was still within the 24 hours and he still charged me then as well. And I literally said that I'll never be flying with this airline ever again. And then another thing that I've noticed with RyanAir, and apparently it's the same with like EasyJet, Jet2, the package holiday people, and pretty much most other major like EasyJet and low budget European airlines, that what they do is that staff are employed at the Pacific airport. In most of them, they're not employees of the airline. So basically, when the airline messes up or something goes wrong, and they just want to wipe their hands of it, when people get cross, they're gonna have a go at these people behind the counters. Because if you actually watch and look at them very, very carefully, you'll not see. Apart from I think where EasyJet is based, I think those people are actually EasyJet staff. But in other European airports, they're not. So if you actually look at what they're wearing, they're not wearing uniform of that Pacific airline. And I only noticed this when I was in Athens airport when we were going in to check our luggage in. They were not EasyJet staff. So not EasyJet, RyanAir staff. So that was a little bit odd. And then being at Athens airport is an absolutely lovely airport. This side of it is literally like the only positive at Athens airport. I actually really like it. It's really nice. And it's just so relaxed and chilled. It's not a super huge airport. Even though it isn't international, but it has a couple of floors, so yeah, anyhow. And when upon going to obviously go to boarding the plane, I noticed it again. It was the same people, pretty much. I'm pretty sure that had checked us in an hour, a couple of hours prior, and it was the same people putting us aboard. Then we got to this point where it's stifling hot. It was stiflingly hot in Athens, and they took us over in buses to the plane, and the aircon weren't working on the buses, or it was turned off, but it was kind of working by the driver. We got taken over, loaded onto the plane. They did not care in the slightest. There was a bit of a delay, and there's people trying to push in and things like that. And they had 2 flights going out of the same place at the same time. So 2 flights, obviously one was going on one runway and one was on another. So our flight got delayed to prioritise another flight because they only had one way to, obviously, for the passengers to go through to then get on the bus and take them to the plane to get on the plane. So that side of it, I will have to say that's a bad thing on. Well, it's sort of Athens airport's fault. It's kind of really anyway. So that side of it was probably the only negative about Athens airport. Upon being on the plane, leg room wasn't good. It was a little not enough for my liking. The cost of the flight was nowhere near what it should have been. It should have been at most a one-way flight to Athens should be no more than £100, not 350 or 360, whatever it ended up costing me. And from my personal experience, the pilot was good. I will say that. The flight itself was good. Hardly any turbulence. We got in on time, and the staff the staff of the plane were okay, but everything was just so overly priced and things like that. I just literally only bought one drink on that flight, and that was it, because I was not paying any more to that airline if I could help it. So then upon landing at London Luton, to say it's an airport I'd never actually been to before, it's actually got a lot of work going on because they're really trying to sort of upgrade its facilities and make it a lot more of a modern airport. Modern's probably the wrong word. To bring it up to standards with similar airports like Stansted, Gatwick and Heathrow as another option for people to fly at least to Europe because it's not an international airport, so as far as I can gather. But my experience there at London Luton, the airport itself was great, the staff were fantastic, the few that I did actually see, but there were obviously, as it's technically Luton, you did have a lot of well, there was one like crazy person that was walking around. It was clearly either a mix of drunk and stoned on drugs that was walking around having a massive bar and a hitty fight with his partner, or assume it was his partner. And he ends up trying to throw a bottle of something or other, and it missed her and hit the floor, and then there was police everywhere. So it's just like, I can't get out of this airport, man. And yeah, so upon reflection of RyanAir and my personal experience, I would not be recommending them to anyone. And if anyone does make the mistake of booking a flight with them, they do it. And also, I found this out, which is another bit of information I think you guys need to hear out as well. That if you book online through the website or on the app, if you do not or you forget to do the online check-in on the website or the online check-in on the app, RyanAir will charge you 60 quid when you get to the airport, and if you don't pay the 60 quid or don't have the 60 quid to pay it, they won't let you on the flight. That airline is absolutely abhorrent. I will never ever fly with it again. And then shortly after I got back, I think it was only about a week or two after I got back, there was a report that I saw, and this is RyanAir again, that there was this Irish man who was disabled, so he couldn't use his basically from his waist down, couldn't use his legs, couldn't walk, and obviously was wheelchair bound. And he just landed somewhere in Sweden, I think it was Sweden, I can't remember the airport, but I'm pretty sure it was Stockholm, but I might be wrong. And basically, he was dying for the toilet and was desperate. The staff on the plane that were RyanAir staff refused to let him go to the toilet on the plane because the plane had landed and stopped, was their excuse from what this man said. And then they proceeded to tell him that the airport in Sweden wasn't ready with one of these special, I don't know what they call them, but it was basically a lift thing, basically, so he could roll on and get down. And where he was literally this close to having an accident, and not a nice one, he resorted to basically pulling himself along the floor, got himself to the steps. Not one RyanAir employee offered to help him down the stairs, and literally his friend had recorded him slowly shifting himself with the upper part of his body that he could move with, and literally lowered himself down one step at a time, and then tried to start crawling, and then his friend managed to get him into the wheelchair to then go to and literally ran so he could get to the toilet. Literally, I swear, anyone, you can find that article online, and I would never in a million years recommend flying with RyanAir. My personal experience was enough to put me off for life. It is a disgusting airline, and there's nothing I've seen or anyone that I've flown with, known that has flown with them has anything positive to say about them. But that's where we ended with our little mini series of airline reviews. Hopefully you enjoyed this little mini series. And if there's if you have any ideas of any other videos you'd like me to make for the channel, just while I'm apart from Lovely, which hopefully won't be for too much longer, and please just drop us a comment down below. and I'll happily reply to it, and I'll see if I can make it happen. And just wanted to say thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see and would like to see more, please don't hesitate to check out any of our other videos. One of our most recent playlists is to the left, and one of our most recent uploads to the right. And please drop us a like, share the video, smash the subscribe button, leave us a comment down below. If you just want to say hi, that'd be awesome. We love interacting with you guys. We'll catch you in the next one.